it is a bit too early to guarantee that we're not going to see temperatures in the 30s in March. It's only February 9th. We've got a couple of weeks to go, but at least for the next 2 weeks, this is the temperature outlook across the country. So for this coming weekend and even the weekend after that, it looks like this spring-like warmth with temperatures well above normal for February standards. That's going to be the case. So I don't think you'll have to wrap any plants over the next 2, potentially 3 weeks. However, as climatology says, this is kind of working in our favor right now. So our last average freeze for the city of Houston is typically on February 13th. But remember, we can still get frost when we have morning low temperatures even above freezing, between the mid-30s from about 33 degrees to 36 degrees. So our average last frost is a month later. That is usually March 3rd. And then the last day, if you wanted to know when we had freezing temperatures on record in the city of Houston, that was April 10th. In 1973, so we still have a ways to go. But one key indicator that we use to forecast when we can get those big cold swings this time of year is the polar vortex. And remember, the polar vortex, it forms every winter because of the big contrast in sunlight we have across the northern hemisphere. It keeps all that cold, frigid Arctic air locked in place. But when we start to see a sudden stratospheric warming event, that's when the polar vortex can move. And we've seen at least 2 of those events this winter, one of them bringing us that winter storm we saw in January. But as you recall, this past weekend, New England was experiencing some record cold weather, and that's because of the tilt of the polar vortex. The polar vortex isn't always guaranteed to move across the country. It can tilt and move different ways across the northern hemisphere, where this time around it really just impacted the northeast and portions of the northern Atlantic. So when we are monitoring these potential cold snaps, this is one thing we always have to keep an eye on this time of year. And Travis, as you know, the polar vortex is something we can somewhat forecast a couple of weeks out, but it's never a guarantee that we're going to get a freeze here in the city of Houston.
No.